So let's get mixing, and what we're going to do is experiment with the sliders. Now I've already experimented and I know the best settings, so I'll just take you to those. I'm going to go to 50% on the blue and 70% on the red. Now what that's doing is it's brightening up the clouds there, and it's actually bringing out the dramatic contrast between the foreground and background shadows and highlights, but you can see that my numbers are actually going above the 100% output, and we are losing detail in the clouds there. But I do want to have this contrast here because the midtones are also showing up quite well, and I can fix the burnt out highlights later using masks, so don't worry about that for the moment. But this is the optimum setting that we've got, and I can reduce the effect of that burnout a little bit by balancing the books. So we're 20 over our 100%. If I take this down to -20, then that kind of brings things back in line, and we've got this nice dramatic contrast there. So what we'll do is click OK. We've still got some work to do. The contrast is very, very strong, but it needs to have a little bit more of the levels altered. So let's just click OK, and we'll add a levels adjustment layer now, because what we need to do is grab the brightest pixels and pull them up so they're whiter, and grab the darkest pixels and pull them down. And so we've got a nice strong level. At the moment you can see there that we've got hardly any pixels in the brightest area. So if I just drag this to the left, if I go too far you can see the image brightening up considerably, but if I go to about here, then we've got a brighter looking shot, and our highlights are much brighter now. And I can clip the black levels a little bit more just by dragging down there, and then also beef up the midtones by dragging this slider to around about here. So the midtones are actually taking pixels that were darker and brightening them up. So we've got this nice dark sky, bright clouds, and nice clipped foreground shadows as well. If we click OK, you can see there that that's a much more striking image than we had by just using desaturate. So a much more dramatically contrasting image there than we had before. If we turn off the adjustment layers, you can see the source file, and here's the monochrome version. The levels adjustment there really does help to give a nice balance between shadows, midtones and highlights. Let's just check by zooming in to our clouds here. You may find that some of the clouds are a little overblown and burnt out. It's not too bad here, but if you find that's the case, you can fine-tune things by choosing a brush. Get a nice soft edge brush, make sure that it's on black. I don't need to change the colour there, that's fine. Target the adjustment layer, and then what you can do is choose a soft opacity actually of about 13 and just start to spray, and that will just gently remove the effect of the levels there. I'll just whack up that opacity a little bit more, click a few times, and that will just take off any overexposed areas, though in this particular example we don't actually suffer from that too much. You can see it's just darkening a little bit there, and if you want to lighten up again, then just swap the foreground to white and then just spray in again like so. So that's quite a subtle edit because we don't really have too much to worry about with those exposure values. And there is the final image with the contrast much more striking and much more dramatic now as well. So hopefully you'll be sold on that technique and you'll experiment with Channel Mixer to create your own monochrome masterpieces.